be yourself, or you can never say how you really feel. Yeah. When the sun down, my mind is on the rundown. I be feeling like my happiness is on the come down. But when I speak to you, I feel like it's a touchdown. Finally found me someone I can really trust now. I always have so much to say, but no one to say it to. If I could talk to you today, I know I can make it through. So let's have this conversation like a radio station. So let's have this conversation like a radio station.
It's finally Friday, and it's time for the conversation with Maria Byrd.
What's up? Welcome back, you guys. You are listening to the conversation with Maria Byrd. And guess what, you guys? I'm super excited about today's show because we have a very special guest. He is an innovator, a coach, an author. I like to call him the Transformer. I absolutely love his ministry, and it's truly an honor to have him here with us today. Please help me welcome to the show my very special guest, Dr. Rodney Jackson.
Thank you.
Welcome to the show, Dr. Jackson.
It is so wonderful to be back here again on the conversation. And as I was telling you, I love that title.
Yes, sir.
Because I think that life is about having those crucial conversations that can transform our lives.
Yes, sir.
So I'm just excited to be back here with you, and just excited about what God is going to do. And one thing I want to say to you, every time I come on this program, I leave inspired.
Oh, wow.
So I do want to thank you for that.
Oh, wow. Glory to God. Well, I'm just so excited that you are back. You're one of my absolute favorite guests. You are what I like to call the Transformer. And so thank you so much for coming today.
I want you to know I adopt that name, the Transformer. Yeah.
Yes, sir. So before we get started, can you just tell the people a little bit about yourself?
Well, I'm a chair of leadership and business at Beulah Heights University. I've been a professor for over the last 20-something years, and I love education. I love the classroom, to be able to explore ideas. I'm also a life coach, and I love helping people transform their lives and live the life that God created them to live. And so I'm just a man of all seasons, many different things. I traveled the world, and just got back from Congo about a month ago, and had a wonderful, extraordinary time.
Yes, awesome. Yes, as you said, I like to call you the Transformer because last time you came, you taught us about transformation and the significance of it, how it impacts not only us but the world around us. And so today we're going to be talking about that same topic, transformation, but today is part two. Part two, you guys. And so, yes, I'm super excited. And so let's just recap from last time. When it comes to transformation, what exactly is transformation and what is its significance?
Transformation is, Romans 12:2 lays the foundation for it, where Paul says, and be not conformed to this world, but be transformed. How? By the renewing of your mind. And then when you break that down and you see that the word transform means metamorphosis. And by the renewing, that word renewing means by the deconstruction of your mind. So a better way of saying that, undergo a radical, revolutionary process of change simply by changing the way that you think.
Wow.
And we all know, and I just have come to recognize that changing the way you think is going to be the hardest thing you'll ever do in your life. Because you've been socialized and programmed to be who you are right now. But when it comes to changing the way that you think, you're going against history, you're going against socialization, you're going against so many things. But it's possible if you become conscious of the process.
Yes. And one of the things that you talked about last time that I want you to just shed light on, because you said that it was a difference between transformation and change.
Right. And I think that that's so crucial to go over again, because although transformation involves change, but not all change involves transformation. And I think that, first level change, which is behavior modification. New Year's just passed and realized we need to get back in the gym. We got New Year's resolution.
Right.
And this year we're going to eat right. We're going to do all the things right. Well, I think of those resolutions as behavior modification. It's not transformation.
Wow.
Because we're going to do it for a couple of months, and the gyms, are going to be full, and then after a couple of months, they're going to go back to being the way that they were before the first of the year. So what happens is that the individuals make behavior modification, but not a transformation. You see, when you make a transformation, you become a new creation. You become a new person, a new being, and all of the old ways and patterns and habits of living pass away, and you totally embrace a new way of living, a new way of thinking that make you into a totally brand new person.
Wow.
So, so people, and I think a lot of times as a religious leader and preacher, people making, we see it, people making modification, behavior modification. They just going to stop doing what they were doing, just cut back a little bit. But when you make a transformation, you embrace a new lifestyle. Wow. And that's the reason it becomes hard to continue working out. Because if it does not become a part of who you are, then you're only doing it for a short period of time. But when it becomes a part of who you are, it becomes a part of your lifestyle. It becomes a part of your habits. When you think about Jesus, after his custom, he went into the temple, where he went into the synagogue. He had a habit of going into the synagogue.
Yes.
His synagogue. It was his lifestyle. It was who he was.
Yes.
And that's the thing that when you make a transformative change, you become something different. You become a new person, a new being that people don't recognize you.
Yes.
So that's the thing, and that most people, they just don't, they modify their behavior, and we mistake behavior modification as a change, and that's the reason our salvation experience becomes so one and done.
Talk about that. Yes.
I went up to the altar and I accepted Jesus as my Savior, and we think that that's it. But now the real work began, and it becomes a lifestyle. I remember Maya Angelou signing a book, and a young man was in line, and he got up to her for her to sign his book, and he told her, he said, "I'm saved." And she looked at him and said, "So early?" She said, we know that Christ's finished work on the cross is done, but the work of sanctification is a lifetime process of transformation. And that's what the Holy Spirit comes in our lives to do, is to transform us. And it takes a lifetime. We're always becoming, we're always evolving. And I think that most people mistake, behavior modification with the fact that I'm changed. That's just first level change.
Yes.
And the second level is deeper because it involves the totality of our being. It involves our spirit, our soul, and our bodies. But I want to just talk about the soul part, because the soul is the psychological component of who we are. Our soul is our psyche, is where our will resides, where our emotion resides, and where our thinking resides. So, once we get born again, God recreate a new spirit in us.
Yes.
But our soul is in need of transformation.
Absolutely.
Yes. So and transformation does not happen without education.
Wow.
Education is very important to transformation. I was just thinking about, even getting married and when we get married and We just think that everything else that's going to happen just happen automatic.
Whew.
But it takes, being intentional and proactive to learn how to be in a relationship, to learn what it means to be in a committed relationship, because we've seen our parents, but nobody ever sat down and talked to us about what are the steps, how do you do this. And this is where education comes in, so that I can be transformed into a husband. I can be transformed into a mother, a wife. So, because you can look at it, but when you get in it, you don't know, well, I didn't know it was going to be like this.
Right.
But no one ever sits down with us and have that conversation.
Yes.
But some days you're not going to like being there. But know that, love is not a feeling. It's a commitment.
Come on. Yes.
So that's the thing that I'm real passionate about, is really helping people change the way that they think. Because everything in life starts with how you think about it. Because how you think about it is going to shape the way that you look at it and the perspective that you have about it. So, and I just know that that's what we've been missing.
Wow. That's what we've been missing.
Yeah, because we preach to people in the church, but they hear the word, they hear the message, but that's not enough. Somewhere we got to pull them aside and begin to have the conversation that this is what you become a part of. This is where you need to be. And this is where you are.
Wow.
And that's what coaching is all about. Taking you from where you are to where you desire to be.
Yeah. I love that. And that's one of the revelations that really stuck out to me. That transformation is not just, like you said, it's not just about what you do. But transformation is more about who you are. Right,
exactly. It's
that's
about
powerful.
Who you are. It's because we can do a lot of things, and that's not necessarily who we are. We learn that from a child to play a role, to do these things,
to play a role,
and so, but that's not exactly who we are.
Come on, and that's why it doesn't work.
You're right.
Because, like you said, it's like playing pretend.
Yeah.
We're playing a role, but we're not actually becoming.
Exactly. The perennial question that's consistently asked is, who are you?
Woo, come on. Yes. Talk about that.
Moses asked God that question, who am I? To go to the children and go to Pharaoh and tell him, Moses didn't know who he was.
Wow.
And if you're going to make any significant contribution in life or leave a legacy, it starts with knowing who you are. We look at Martin Luther King, we look at Jesus Christ, we look at Mahatma Gandhi, we look at Martin Luther King, we look at Nelson Mandela.
Yes.
They all had a sense of who they were. And it was because of them knowing who they were that enabled and empowered them to take the positions and the stance that they did to bring about transformation.
Wow. This is incredible. This is good already. Dr. Jackson, let me ask you this, because, we're in a brand new year, 2018. As a matter of fact, my apostle has declared this year to be the year of the amazing. And one of the things about when we approach and enter into New Year's, at the beginning of the year, oftentimes people will create New Year's resolutions. And so can you talk about that? How do you feel about New Year's resolutions? Are they effective?
I think overall the statistics were supported that they're not as effective as we think they are. Because I think simply because people do not have that crucial conversation with themselves as to what are the trade-offs that I'm going to have to make in order to accomplish this. What are the what is the things
That's right.
that I'm going to be stressed in to make this happen. And I think that, we set ourselves up for failure when we don't put in the right environment to hold us accountable or build the right relationships to hold us accountable.
Yes.
It's like this, Maria. I do CrossFit, and I tell everybody I tell about CrossFit, most people that hear it say, it's crazy. I don't know how you all do all of those routines. But I tell them the thing to me that's so special about CrossFit, at CrossFit Tucker, is that it's the community. It's the community. They hold me accountable. When I don't show up, they call me. And when I miss a few days...
Just tell us, what is CrossFit? Just tell us.
CrossFit is a combination of many different exercises that you use in your body. You lift weights, it's agility, it's constant motion. And so it's exercise, workout exercise that has a popularity, here in the country. Yes. So it just keeps me, you never know what you're going to do from day to day. So that's, become my exercise of choice as far as staying in shape. But, as I say, the beautiful thing about it is the people. The people hold you accountable. And I say that because when you're talking about making change or making transformation, is that most people won't put themselves in a structured environment where that can take place. Because you got to be in a structured environment. So when we make these resolutions, we don't create the structured environment that can enable us to keep that resolution. So it's almost we're making something in futility that we're not going to keep. We're not going to keep, because I guarantee you right now, the gyms are decreasing in the number of people that are coming.
Wow.
And we're only just the second month into the year.
Wow.
And you notice that all of most churches, they usually have a fast or something that they call in order to set you up for that. And you watch it. You watch. People going to lose weight. And that's not the purpose of the fast. But that's the way most of them go on it, you know, to lose weight. But it's supposed to be a spiritual exercise. But they never connect the spiritual with the physical. Because I can look at you on the outside, and how you look on the outside says a lot about what's going on the inside.
Wow.
So you can't escape that. So I don't think that the resolutions work in a majority. I think some people have some success. A small number have a success, but not the majority.
Wow. So you guys, that's a revelation that if we're going to have those New Year's resolutions, that we have to have that structured environment in place to assist us, to help develop us, and, you know, cultivate that transformation. Because like you said, without that environment, you know, it's like having a resolution in vain.
Yeah. And, you know, I was teaching a class. I'm teaching a class up at our Marietta campus. And it's business it's entrepreneurship and business ethics. So one of we talked about having short-term goals. That every day you get up, you should have a goal for that day. You know, and see, that's living with intentionality. Because if you're going to make major changes, you got to become intentional. So you got to have an aim, a focus. What is it I want to accomplish today? And when you achieve that goal, the momentum of it keep you moving forward. So that's important. And I think that we as religious leaders or leaders, we need to really have a conversation with our people about what this is going to require.
Wow. That's incredible. That's a revelation.
Yeah.
Because, you know, like you said, you know, if we don't put those things in place, then it'll just be in vain. We'll be like a sounding brass and a tingling cymbal, but we will have no impact and no effect. So I love that. And so you was telling me before the show started about this new class that you're teaching.
Okay.
Yes, can you just tell us about that new class?
I'm teaching it every fourth Saturday of every month. And it's an idea that I was introduced to when I was in graduate school that totally revolutionized my life when it comes to relationship. And when I heard it, you know how you hear something and it just resonate with you, and I began to start a journey, and this started back in 1993, and I heard the concept and idea, and I began to research it and follow it, and I began to teach it in a Bible study. And it's a new science of relationship. It's all about how do you have healthy, fulfilling relationship. Since we're social beings, and relationship is as a social being are important to us. But the thing I come to recognize is that relationship bring the best out of us. Yes. A relationship bring the worst out of us. You ever heard anybody say, I can't live with him, and I can't live without, or I can't live with her, but I can't live without. And so it's about how do we manage ourselves in anxious relationship, and it starts with how we think about relationship. Yes. And so this idea talks about family system theory. It's about the family as an emotional unit, and how as an emotional unit we interact with each other at a thinking, feeling level, and how those interactions shape our emotional being and what we take into relationship. So so I'm talking about that every fourth Saturday, and it's called Bowen Theory, and I'm introducing the 8 concepts of how to think about relationship, because I believe that in order to have a new way of thinking, you got to have new mental content to use to think. Yes. So I talk about these concepts and how they work and how they can help you understand what's happening in your relationship. Wow. Because we just don't get married or into a relationship without bringing our emotional history with us. Right. and oftentimes we're unconscious of it, that we're operating like that. So this class, every fourth Saturday, and it's free, and I'm having it at Exchange Park, 2771 Columbia Drive, that I'm just simply talking about a new way of thinking about relationships. Wow. And how you can thrive in relationships. Yes. By learning how to manage yourself.
That's right. Yeah. We have to learn how to manage ourselves.
And that's the key, that I can be enough of a self, that I can be interdependent and interconnected with you without losing who I am.
Come on! Yes!
And we say in the scripture, we say, and two shall become one. And in most relationships, when two become one, somebody get lost.
Come on!
And anytime you get lost and you give up who you are, I always say that's abuse. That's abuse, because God created you to be an individual, and I don't think that the Bible means that one should get swallowed up. That it means that two healthy, whole people come together, and part of me is connected with you, as part of you is connected with me, and there's still a lot of me left.
It's still a lot of me left.
Yeah, so, and that's the only way you can be in a whole healthy relationship, is that you got to be a self. You got to be a self, and your husband got to be a self, but there's a part of us that connect together, that we form a union. Allow you the space to be who you are.
Oh, that's good.
And you allow me the space to be who I am. And because we are interconnected and interdependent, meaning that we mutually depend upon each other without losing our own individuality. So it's
yes,
so
I love
it's a
that.
whole new way of thinking about relationship, and I introduced the concepts and the ideas that can give you a way of thinking about it that can help you free up and become more proactive and intentional in how you approach relationships.
Wow. Ooh. My God, that was so good right there.
Yeah.
That was so good.
Because you think about it, most, in order to, to be a part of anything, the old way of thinking about it is that you gotta drink the Kool-Aid. You gotta participate in the group think process, and therefore you have to give up your own individual right to be a self and to think for yourself. So it just, when I heard the idea and I continued to study it, it just helped me become a better person.
Wow.
I'm not saying that I'm perfect, but I do know when I'm spinning out of control, I do have a way of thinking about it that I can pull myself back in control, so that's the beauty of it. And it all, as I said, it's all about how you think about it that shapes your perspective.
Yes, absolutely.
So,
wow.
I can be, I can be connected to you without losing who I am, as well as you can be connected to me without losing who you are, because God created us to be unique and distinct.
Come on.
And not be a copycat.
Yes. That's the OMG. That's like one of my favorite sayings from my Apostle Travis Jennings. He always says, you are uniquely, necessarily different. And that just goes right in line with what you're saying, is that, we can be a part of something, but not lose ourselves, not lose our individuality and our creativity. Yeah. Wow.
Because, when we're born into a family, it's almost like, a basic rule about a family is that the relationships are so close and so connected and so fused, it's almost like we're living inside of each other's emotional skin.
Wow.
And so when we take that idea, to the families we start, and even down to our children, and we try to tell them, this is what I want you to be, this is who I want you to be, rather than how do you nurture them being an autonomous self and able to make choices and decisions based upon their own thinking about it.
Wow.
So that's, and this is, where the ideas that I'm introducing on Saturday, on the fourth Saturday of this month, it gives you a way of how to anchor yourself and how to get clear based upon your own thinking about what you want in a relationship.
Wow. That's so true. I can honestly attest to that, because it's so important that we don't lose ourselves. It's so important that even though we're, like you said, a part of something, a family unit, no matter what organization or, that we are a part of, it's important that as we're a part of that, we maintain some of ourselves. That we don't lose ourselves in the process. That is so key. And thank you so much for sharing that. That, even for marriages, that's such a revelation.
Yeah, it's and it when I heard it, it just changed my life, and I began teaching it in a Bible study at my brother's church, Gospel Tabernacle, and people would come and I would teach them these ideas. And even today, I would teach them ideas about a triangle, and they would say, I'm not going to get into that triangle.
Wow. Yes.
Because the whole idea is that a two-person relationship is unstable because it can't handle a whole lot of anxiety without bringing a third person in. And so when it becomes a three-person relationship, it allows the anxiety to travel. And somebody's always on the outside and somebody's always on the inside. You ever seen somebody that have an issue with somebody else and say, Marie, let me share this with you. Well, you're in a triangle. So how do you stay out of that triangle? And you de-triangle yourself by not taking sides and taking ownership with the person that got the issue with the other person.
That's good.
Yeah, so even today I mean people say, you know, Dr. Jackson, I don't stay out of a lot of triangles.
That's right, you guys. We have to make sure that we stay out of those triangles. Well, you guys, we have to take a quick commercial break, but I want you to keep it locked right here. You're listening to WIGO 1570 AM Radio.
Thank you for tuning in to The Conversation with Maria Byrd.
So let's have this conversation
On WIGO 1570 AM Radio.
You can connect with Maria Byrd here Fridays on The Conversation at 11 a.m. Go to www.mariabyrd.org. You can sign up for her newsletter. Check out the latest from The Conversation. You can be the next guest, have your song featured, or donate to the cause. Learn about marketing opportunities. Check out the giveaways, special promotions, free tickets, and the latest from Maria Byrd Publications. Again, log on to www.mariabyrd.org. That's www.mariabyrd.org.
Rock Beat Clothing. It's fun, it's alive, it's inspirational, it's Christian clothing for everyone. Be sure to stop by www.rockbeatclothing.com today for the latest fresh gear, shoes, hats, shirts, you name it, they've got it. On sale now. That's www.rockbeatclothing.com.
WIGO 1570 AM Radio.
We live in a world where everyone thinks serving God is just the same. We live our lives and do our own thing, thinking nothing wrong. But God calls us to be His light, so there can be no compromise. You have to choose your side and lay down your life. 'Cause you can love the world and love God too. Serving both won't get you through. At some point you have to choose. The decision has always been up to you. No more in between. Time to give God your everything. Follow Him and you will see that He has always been all you need. No more in between. Give God your everything. No more in between. Give God your everything. Come on, give it all to Him. What does it profit to gain the whole world if in the process you losing your soul? Too afraid to let the world go, too afraid to let your light show. Where are the ones who will shine for Christ? Yeah, where are the ones who will not compromise? It's time out for playing these same old games. It's time out for living the same old way. We all say tomorrow's the day for change. Tomorrow may be too late. 'Cause you can love the world and love God too. Serving both will get you through. At some point you have to choose. The decision has always been up to you. No more in between. Time to give God your everything. Follow Him and you will see that He has always been all you need. No more in between. Give God your everything. No more in between. Give God your everything. Nothing in this world will ever compare to the love that God desires to share. But He will not share your heart. He wants to have it all. God is calling out for you. So go ahead and answer Him and follow Him. 'Cause you can't love the world and you can't talk the world. Serving both won't get you through. At some point you have to choose. The decision has always been up to you. No more in between. Time to give God your everything. Follow Him and you will
Won't he do it? I knew it. I almost blew it, but he got me through it. His love, his grace and mercy. At one time the devil cursed me. I was drowning off in my mess, but the Lord, he came and saved me like a damsel in distress. Yeah, now we are living and now we are giving. Blessings applied to the ceiling. Anointed my head with oil. Now look at my cup, it is spilling. My sins, he picked up the billing. He got all my enemies chilling. He made a way, I won't forget the feeling. I'll do whatever, just ask me, I'm willing. Willing. Won't he, will he, won't he do it? Won't he, will he, won't he do it? Won't he, will he, won't he do it?
Thank you for tuning in to The Conversation with Maria Byrd.
So let's have this conversation
On WIGO 1570 AM radio.
What's up? Welcome back, you guys. You are listening to The Conversation with Maria Byrd. I want you guys to be sure to connect with me. Check out my website at www.mariabyrd.org. I want you to join my newsletter and get more information on upcoming events and giveaways. Again, that's www.mariabyrd.org. Also, you just heard the hit song No More In Between by Jasmine Lanice from her beautiful CD Shine For You. And guess what, you guys? It's available right now for purchase on iTunes. And of course, I love that song Won't He Do It by Kenton Jones. Well, you guys, we are back with my very special guest, the Transformer himself, Dr. Rodney Jackson. Welcome back to the show, Dr. Jackson.
Thank you.
Yes, and so before the break, we were talking about transformation and the significance of transformation, and also the different relationships and how those relationships may respond to our transformation. And so one of the things that you talked about the last time you were here, you talked about the significance of renewed thoughts, and you talked about how those thoughts play a part in our transformation process. And one of the things that you loved that I thought was so incredible, you said new events help to reshape our brains.
Exactly.
Yes, you said that. And so, I know since the last time you was here, you've experienced so much. You've had new events, you've had new experiences, you have travels. Can you just tell us about some of those new events that have helped to reshape your brain?
Well, one of the new events that I want to talk about is I had the opportunity to go to the Democratic Republic of Congo in Kinshasa and to teach a group of PhD students in the subject Foundation of Leadership. And it was just an awesome, extraordinary experience. And it rewired my mind and just to understand the value of education and how education in an international context is valued.
Yes.
The students were wonderful. They showed up every day with an expectation to learn about leadership, and I was teaching a group of PhD students that worked in the government over there.
Oh, wow.
And the Democratic Republic of Congo is one of the richest countries in the world. That mineral that we put in the cell phone that make the cell phone work, it comes from there.
Oh, wow.
So they have many resources, but it's a country that's in need of the intellectual capital to transform that country.
Yes.
And so I was just blessed to have the opportunity to be teaching the leaders of that country that were going to go out and make change. And so we was just talking about leadership, what it is and what it is not. And it was just a wonderful week, and I got a chance to really experience the culture, and I got a chance to preach at a church. It was about 4,000 members of 4,000 people literally there that morning. And I got an opportunity to talk about transformation and they responded.
Yes.
So that whole experience, it just shaped me and got me to thinking about not just focusing just right here in this context of America, but to think about the big stage, international, and what it really means.
Yes.
And I came back inspired that I wanted to start, at the Bible college, with the Bible, not is university. Beulah Heights used to be a Bible college, still a Bible college, Christian, but it's a university. But I got inspired to begin to start building a program of international organizational development, because I felt like, we talk about global context, we talk about the world, but how can you really know it's a possibility if you never experience it? And so to be in that country and to be teaching, and you can begin to see how we were fulfilling our university mission statement to raise up relevant Christian leaders for ministry in the marketplace. And it was just an awesome opportunity to see that. I had the opportunity before to go to China and teach at a university there while I was working on my doctorate. But I began to see that we got to help our students or help our people to begin to think about the possibilities, the many possibilities that there are on a global context. So
good.
It was just a wonderful experience. I got a chance to experience the culture and to meet the people, and it was just a wonderful time.
Yes.
And it totally rewired my brain.
Yes.
So now, and I'm supposed to go back in March. Well, not supposed to, I'm going back in March again to teach that same group of students, and I can't hardly wait.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I follow you on social media, and didn't you go on a trip, I want to say to Paris?
Yeah, we stopped in Paris.
Wow,
So,
yes, tell us about Paris.
Just the energy of the city. Wow. Just the energy of the city and just being there. And I said, I got to come back because we had a layover in our flight from Congo. We stopped in Paris.
Wow.
I said, I got to take more time and just go back and just experience the whole culture.
Yes.
And the thing of it is, Maria, is that I think that we as people of color, we sometimes limit ourselves by not expanding our worldview. To be able to go to other countries and to be able to experience other cultures, and it gives you a great appreciation for your own culture, but it also keep you from being narrow-minded and bias and prejudice and all of those things.
I love that point because, a lot of times individuals may say that they have an international call upon their lives. But then, like you said, what is that structured environment that's going to help cultivate that call?
Exactly.
Because if we are called to the nations, if we're called to be international, then we should do those things that's going to help cultivate that, such as go to different countries, really take the time to be educated when it comes to the different cultures, different languages, different, don't you
exactly.
think?
And especially from within the church, and and when we talk about mission, and for most churches, the mission is the pastor go over and just preach, and but they have the Bible, and my understanding of mission there is that how do we empower these countries with our intellectual capital to be able to have an impact? And I think that that's what the message of the gospel is all about. And I think that, you get a different perspective of how, in the past, we just went over there, went to place and just preached the gospel. But the gospel always produces a transformed life.
Yes.
And you cannot just preach to them without addressing their needs.
Yes.
Maslow says in his hierarchy of needs is that the highest is what he calls self-actualization. I compare that to spiritual, becoming spiritual. But he said at the bottom is the basic things like food and shelter and some other needs up that ladder. That if you don't fulfill those first, you can't talk about the spiritual, because they can't hear it if they don't have the basic things of life that it takes to survive. So I just had it just shifted my paradigm to begin to say that it's about transformation and empowerment.
Yes, empowerment. I love that, because that reminds me of a famous quote that says, if I give you a fish, you eat for a day. But if I teach you how to fish, you eat for a lifetime.
Exactly.
And so it's about transformation, but it's also about empowerment.
Yes. And transformation always empower you to fulfill your calling or your destiny. Transformation is about unlocking your potential.
Come on.
Because God created us in such a way that he did not create us to fail.
Say that again.
He didn't create us to fail. He created us to be a living demonstration of his word in action.
Yes.
That we don't have to talk about, I believe. And I put this quote on my Facebook. Most people talk about their faith, but I choose to live my faith.
That's it.
To be this demonstration. So it's about not only transforming people, but empowering them. And when a person gets transformed, they are empowered to take responsibility for their own lives. And so it's just, I'm just trying to get the message to everybody that will hear it, is that there are opportunities in the global context.
Yes.
It's not only that we say, we're living in a global, but get out there and experience it.
Yes.
Get out there and experience it.
Wow.
Radio, your program, just don't limit it to here.
Yes.
But
come on.
They need to hear this around the world.
I receive it.
They need to see people of color that look like them. I'm talking about Africa, doing the impossible.
Come on, yes.
Something that is impossible to them. But when you see someone that look like you doing it, it gives you hope.
Yes, it does. It gives you hope. That is so critical. That we have to do it, because other people, our transformation causes others to transform.
Exactly.
Wow.
Exactly.
Yes.
And and that was the message of Nelson Mandela, and to help.
That's great.
That's humanity up.
Help lift humanity up.
And that's the thing that is so important today, is that we have such a tremendous opportunity through technology and innovation to touch the world. But if you haven't been transformed in your mind, then the only world that you know is the world that you're living in right here in America.
Wow. I love that. And that's, because today, this is transformation part 2. And one of the revelations that I received from today is that true transformation is not just about ourselves.
You're right.
But it's about transforming the world around us.
It's about being a change agent, being a transformer.
Yes.
All over the world. And the people who have attained significance and greatness have been transformed. When you think about it through our history, from Mahatma Gandhi, Martin Luther King, where, first of all, always our Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ, it says that the Word became flesh and dwelt among us, and we beheld his glory, full of grace and truth. So God was not comfortable just staying in heaven.
Come on.
But God became flesh in the person of Jesus Christ to tabernacle or to walk among us and to demonstrate to us the life that we can live. So when you look at Martin Luther King, you look at Mahatma Gandhi, you look at Mother Teresa, you look at Nelson Mandela, you look at even our previous president, Barack Obama. These individuals have been transformed. They have transformed the world. They have made an impact that continues to live.
Yes.
And that's what a transformer does.
Wow. We have to make an impact that continues to live.
Continues to live. It's bigger than us. You know, it's bigger than us.
It's bigger.
Because when you think about a transformational leader, he has, you know, what I call, you know, the 4 I's: individual consideration, and it simply means that a transformational leader know what his people need, know what their goals and dreams and desires are, and because he knows that, he empowers them. He through teaching them how to live out their dreams. You know, they have idealized influence, meaning that they model the behavior. You know, they model the behavior that they want you to emulate. They have, you know, intellectual inspiration that they think outside the box.
Come on.
I mean, who would ever thought that we would be living in a time period that we're living in now, that we can be heard all over the world? You know, so they think outside the box, and they encourage their followers or their members to think outside the box. God is not limited. The only thing that's limited is that space between your ears, and that's because you're making a choice to do that. You know what I mean? So many scriptures says, "Now unto him that's able to do exceedingly abundantly above all we can ask or think." So God is saying, "It's nothing you can ask me, nothing you can think that I cannot do." So, you know, you got, you know, that's what a transformational leader does, and inspirational motivation. They motivate you. You know, church should be a place that we go, like our church. I'm motivated to do something, not just hear it and go back and sit down comfortably where I am in life, but I'm motivated to do something great. So that's, you know, I think that's what God is calling us to do, and I think that the stage is set. 2018, as your pastor said, 2018, it's the time of the abundance. It's, and I like to say, it's the time to become conscious and aware that you can live in abundance. You know, so
we can live in the abundance. We can live this in the year of the amazing. Wow, can you just tell us regarding your class, can you just tell us where it's located so that if people want to come?
It's going to be located at Exchange Park Recreation Center at 2771 Columbia Drive. And it starts at 10 o'clock, and it's going to be the 4th Saturday of this month at 10 o'clock there. And just come and just be a part of the conversation. I'm stealing your word. Be a part of the conversation about how to have healthy, harmonious relationship, and how to manage yourself in anxious times. You know, how do you, anxiety is simply how you respond to what is happening to you. So it's going to be about how do you manage yourself, how do you manage yourself, and how do you transform the way that you think about relationships, and how do you have those healthy, harmonious relationships. Not just married relationship, which is one we talk about, but just healthy, harmonious relationship as a single person. How do you align yourself with relationships that can challenge you and help you grow?
OMG, you guys, this has been so incredible. I want to thank my very special guest, Dr. Rodney Jackson, for being with us today. You know, this was incredible. Today we learned about the significance of transformation. That is more than just behavior modification. It's not just about what we do, but it's about who we are. And so that is critical. Not only that, you guys, but we have to make sure that along with those different resolutions and things that we have in place to transform, we have to make sure that we have that structured environment to help cultivate that transformation. And so you guys, I just want to thank my very special guest, the transformer himself. OMG, this was incredible. Will you come back?
I sure will. And I want to just say to this is the voice. This is the voice to our generation. So,
I received that.
Follow this dynamic woman of God because she's transforming the world.
Wow. I received that. Oh my gosh, I'm overwhelmed. Oh, well, again, I just want to thank my special guest, Dr. Rodney Jackson, for being with us today. This has been incredible. I'm so full right now. I'm so full. Well, you guys, I want you to tune in next week because guess what? We have something absolutely amazing prepared for you. So that's right, you guys. I want you to remember, next week, same time, same place on WIGO 1570 AM radio.
Like it's a touchdown. Finally found me someone I can really trust now. I always had so much to say, but no one is saying to.
Thank you for tuning in to The Conversation with Maria Byrd every Friday, 11 a.m. to 12 p.m. on WIGO 1570 AM radio.
So let's have this conversation like a radio station.
WIGO AM 1570.